Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Eunice, I wasn't able to get a copy of the agenda.
You weren't? Would you like me to send you one?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Is it in the
It's in the Outlook.
calendar invite?
It is.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I see it. Because I got it in a separate email, but I couldn't access it. I have it now. Never mind.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Excellent.
Oh boy. So Eunice, I just found out, and I've had some meetings already this morning about other stuff, but I'm the Attorney Emeritus Program presentation. Grishel is sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. They'll Kelly and Peter, the co-chairs, will announce you properly.
Okay.
That must have just happened, right? I think
it just
Peter sent
happened.
it just
Just
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
I just didn't realize I had looked at the agenda. I didn't realize I was first.
You're up first.
Right.
There you go,
You're here,
Ralph.
Ralph.
I'd
Throw
be
you in there. Good morning, Peter.
How you doing,
Peter.
Eunice? Hey,
I'm
Maurice,
good.
how
How are
you
you
doing?
Long
Good.
time no see.
Yeah, I know, right? What was that? Earlier this week, wasn't it?
Earlier this week.
Hard to keep track. I was also on a call with Ralph earlier this week.
That's right.
Really?
Small
Yes.
world.
I know. Hopefully we'll have a pretty good turnout. I'm gonna check the Outlook and see how many people responded. Because usually it's a lot.
Is it much
so.
cooler today where everybody is?
Yes. It's not cold, but it is colder than it's been.
It is.
Yes.
I would describe it as nicer.
I'll take that.
I think that too. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Maurice, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Very, very good.
Tom, what happened to the mustache?
Ah, it left in retirement. It retired.
So Peter, we have 27 who have accepted and a lot that just haven't responded. So just so you know.
Okay. So give folks a little bit of time, still a little early.
Oh yeah. And on the agenda, you guys are going to do introductions and stuff until 10:15. So
So, Tom, are you fully retired?
I am from the law school, but I still do pro bono work. I work with the Health and Welfare Council on Long Island. In fact,
Right.
I just got off a board call with them. I'm their pro bono counsel. And I'm doing some stuff with the ABA, some pro bono with the ABA as well. And the Nassau Bar. So
Tom, are you an attorney emeritus volunteer?
not formally. I'm still an admitted attorney. I still pay my regular dues.
I'm so happy this is coming up at this point. I'm the Ralph Wolf, the director of the Attorney Emeritus Program. Nice to meet you.
Same here.
I'd like to reach across the panels here and shake your hand and say, let's go have a coffee. The requirement for Attorney Emeritus status is 55 and older with 10 years of legal experience in good standing. Retirement is not a requirement, and it would be awesome for you to be able to sign up and participate with us. Thank you very much.
I'd be happy to do
Ralph.
that. You probably don't know this, but I was actually one of the people that helped start that program. I was one of the founders of this organization, and we did all sorts of stuff back 20, 30 years ago. And so sure.
I'll have we'll reach out to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Ms. McQuaid.
Hi, Tom. I was just going to testify to your amazing background in pro bono and, you know, how you would be just such an incredible volunteer for any of our organizations. Hint, hint.
Just give me a call.
And I second that, Tom.
Thank you, Roberta.
Kelly.
We'll get started in just a couple minutes. Gonna give it another minute or two for people to get signed on. Okay, so I think we'll let other folks continue to join, but we'll get started in the interest of time. So I just wanted to introduce Pete Kemper. Do you want to sort of introduce and talk about your new role with this group?
Sure, thanks, Kelly. Hi, everybody. There's a lot of familiar faces here, but my name is Pete Kempner. I am the legal director here at Volunteers of Legal Service, and I'm stepping into a new role to co-chair this group with Kelly to be the downstate component. So really excited about that. I've been working with Kelly and Eunice over the last few months, and really happy to be in this new role and to be working with everybody from across the state doing great pro bono work. Kelly, back to you. You want to introduce
Okay,
yourself?
so yeah, I was just slow on my mute button today. I don't know, it's a Friday, I don't know. So yeah, Kelly McGovern, I'm the director of pro bono affairs at Legal Assistance of Western New York, Law New York in upstate. So we have downstate and upstate covered. But I think it would be great if we could go around and have everybody introduce themselves, which I know can get kind of crazy, but hopefully we can make it through this morning. And I'm just going to pick somebody at random to start. And if they just want to pass it to somebody else, we'll try that. Kristen Johnson, do you want to start?
Also not working the mute button well this morning. Kristen Johnson, I am the supervising attorney at Just Cause, formerly Volunteer Legal Services Project in Monroe County. Our pro bono coordinator recently left. I am filling in the meantime to help out with some of the tasks. Maurice Seagal is the next one I see on my screen.
Sorry about that. Hi, Maurice Siegel. I am director of the New York and Fairfield County Program for Pro Bono Partnership. We're in Westchester County. We are a transactional pro bono provider, engaging lawyers from law firms and in-house legal departments to provide non-litigation pro bono services to our clients that are nonprofits in the tri-state area. Happy to be continued part of this group. I'll go to Tom Maligno.
Good morning. Well, some of you heard I'm retired after 45 years at Nassau Suffolk Law Services and Toro Law School. I'm doing pro bono work now. And I guess one of my proudest accomplishments is I was one of the co-founders of this group over 30 years ago.
I think you
Pass it on to Roberta.
Thanks, Tom. It took me a while to unmute. I'm Roberta Scull, formerly with Nassau Suffolk Law Services Volunteer Lawyers Program, Attorney of the Day Landlord Tenant Court, which is being phased out because I'm now going to be administering the Community Legal Helpline, actually Help Project, which is an outreach program again, through Nassau Suffolk Law Services, the Nassau County Bar Association, volunteer attorneys, and it's already started actually this past week, and it seems to be a great program and more opportunities for volunteer attorneys. And Risa?
Hi, good morning, everybody. So I also work at Nassau Suffolk Law Services, but I'm in our Hempstead office in Nassau County, and I lead our Volunteer Lawyers Project. And there, with the types of cases that we take are Article 17A guardianship cases, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, healthcare proxies, matrimonial cases, name changes, power of attorney, and wills. And more recently, we've partnered with Toro Law School and a few other agencies, and we're trying to pair up students and attorneys on name changes for transgender, gender nonconforming, and non-binary. So if anyone's interested in getting involved with that, please reach out to me. And thanks so much. I've only been at one other meeting or two other meetings last year, and I got so much from it. So I look forward to working with all of you. And should I pick someone? I'll pick Victoria.
Good morning. My name is Victoria Esposito. I teach at Albany Law School these days, but I was at the Legal Aid Society of Northeastern New York for about 11 years before that, where I was the advocacy director and ran our pro bono program for a little while and did disability and, like, honestly, whatever. I still keep my foot in the legal services and pro bono world. I bring a lot of students to eviction court when I volunteer, and I'm here today because I'm working with Kelly and a few other people on setting up a virtual career fair. It's a pleasure to see everyone. And I apologize, I would pick someone, but I had to hop on a couple minutes late, and I do not know who's gone and not already.
Oh, no, that's fine. How about Michaela? Do you want to go next?
Yeah, thanks so much, Kelly. Michaela Azimi, I'm the Director of Public Interest, excuse me, Director of Public Interest and Community Engagement, and as well as the Director of Externships and the Pro Bono Scholars Program at Cornell Law School. Like Victoria, I'm also formerly a legal aid attorney and ran the Pro Bono program at Law New York before about 5 or 6 years ago. So, you know, that's my interest. I've been a part of this committee for a long time. I'm excited to figure out ways students can get involved in the work. Nice to see you all. Sorry, supposed to pick someone.
Yeah,
Peter. Yeah.
No, go ahead. You pick.
Oh, okay.
I wonder.
Yes, right. I know. Melinda, how about you? We'll stick with the law school group.
Thank you, Michaela. I'm Melinda Saran. I'm at University of Buffalo Law School. Currently, I'm Vice Dean for Undergraduate Law Student Affairs. We have a Law BA program. And being a long-term pro bono person, I started an internship for that. So if any of you in Western New York are looking for undergraduate interns, I have them. I started out as a legal services attorney and then ran a clinic for 10 years and then was dean of students. I'm like sort of the roving person in the law school, but I run the pro bono scholars program and also keep all the pro bono statistics for the law school. You can go. Adama?
Hello, everyone. My name is Adama Fona. I am the pro bono specialist with Falls. This is my first meeting with you all, so super excited to be working with you all here and seeing the work that you do. I will pass it over to Ralph Wolf.
Thanks, Adama, and thanks, Kelly and Peter, for putting this together. I'm Ralph Wolf. I'm the director of the New York State Attorney Emeritus Program. I work in the Office for Justice Initiatives in the Office of Court Administration, and the program is jointly administered with the Feerick Center. And I will pass it to Cassandra.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. I'm Cassandra Celestin. I'm the Director of Pro Bono Initiatives at the City Bar Justice Center here in the city. We are the nonprofit affiliate of the New York City Bar Association. We have a number of projects here, so I won't go through all of them, but mainly what we do is recruit pro bono partners from firms, corporations, and individual attorneys to take on cases pro bono for New Yorkers throughout the 5 boroughs. And I will pass it to Anne O'Grady.
Thanks, Cassandra. Good morning, everyone. I'm Anne O'Grady. I'm the Pro Bono Director at Access Justice Brooklyn. We used to be called the Brooklyn Bar Association Volunteer Lawyers Project. And I'll pass it to my supervisor, Sydney Cherubin.
I'm your colleague, Anne. Sydney Cherubin, Director of Legal Services at Access Justice Brooklyn. Has Sarah Lynn been called?
I have not. Thank you, Sydney.
No problem.
This is Sarah Lynn Cohen. I'm the Pro Bono Counsel and Director of Global Corporate Social Responsibility at Sherman and Sterling. So a full-time law firm pro bono person. Happy to have been working with so many of you for many years, and we just couldn't have our lawyers doing pro bono without you. So we are happy shoppers, and keep the stock stocked. We're looking for work. I don't know. I also got on late, so I'm not sure. Did Laren go?
Not yet, because I got on late.
Laren, I'm calling on you.
Hi, Sarah Lynn. Hi, everybody. I'm Laren Spire. I'm the Program and Strategy Director of Lawyers Alliance for New York. I know many of you from many of my positions over the many years in pro bono land, and happy to see so many familiar faces and some new faces. Also, since I don't know who is gone, I'm going to call on Tom Maligno. You're gone already. All right. I'm going to call on Jeannie. Have you gone already?
Yeah, I haven't. Thanks, Laren. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeannie Ortiz, and I'm a Senior Program Manager at Pro Bono Net. We're a national nonprofit based in New York City, and we host Law Help New York, Live Help New York, and organize trainings for pro bono attorneys on a variety of issues, and also develop technology to facilitate self-help and pro bono services. Sitting on to Bruce.
I'm Bruce Lawrence, quite a senior attorney. I got involved in this field when I was president of the Monroe County Bar Association. We're probably talking 40 years or so ago, and worked closely with Hannah Cohen here in Monroe County to establish programs here. And then when I moved into more involvement with the State Bar, I work with the State Bar to sort of do the same thing and provide money and people and other resources for this very important endeavor. So I'm
You wanna-
supposed.
Yeah, you want
How
to pick
about-
somebody, Bruce, or you want us to do it for you?
Why don't you do it for me? I've
All
lost
right.
track. I've been on them, but I've
Yeah.
lost track. It's all gone.
How about Shara?
Oh, Pete, now I'm not last. I'm always picked last. The middle child in me. I am Shara Abraham, Pro Bono Director at Legal Services of the Hudson Valley. I keep saying I'm the new Pro Bono Director, but I've technically been in the position since spring, so not as new. I like that it was, I think, Reza who listed off a number of projects. At the forefront of what we do is our assigned counsel program for matrimonial matters in coordination with the 9th JD, and we have a virtual housing advice clinic, but I'm probably going to reach out to each and every one of you to talk about the different projects that we have percolating. And I will pass it to my colleague, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Kelly. Delighted to continue on the committee. I know many of you from various positions. I was a prosecutor in Brooklyn, then assistant director of the Public Interest Law Center at Pace Law School. And now, of course, in my current position as pro bono coordinating attorney, working with Shara and 2 other pro bono coordinating attorneys as well at Legal Services of the Hudson Valley. I run the assigned counsel program for matrimonial cases. And I also do a lot of the generalist placements for pro bono attorneys, volunteers, interns, externs, fellows, pro bono scholars, etc. And I am busy researching and hoping to grow a new consumer credit project. So I may very well be reaching out to some of you, especially those in Nassau, Suffolk. I see that it's just a vibrant program and I'm excited to learn more about it. And I will pass it to Ava.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ava Goncalves. I'm a project assistant in the pro bono unit at Brooklyn Defender Services. This is my first meeting with all of you, so I'm excited to hear more about the work you all do. Oh, and I'm passing it over to Marianne. I'm not sure if you went yet. I've lost track.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marianne Joyner. I'm the program director with the Rule Law Center. I'm also the pro bono coordinator here with Rule Law Center. We are located in Clinton County, very upstate New York, but we do the 44 rural counties is what we serve. Cassandra, have you gone yet? You did. Okay,
did,
sorry.
yes.
Natalie?
Hi, thank you, Marianne. My name is Natalie Subchak. I'm with the Pace Women's Justice Center in Westchester is our primary place of location. And we provide legal services for victims and survivors of domestic violence, elder abuse, and sexual assault. Some of our programs are specific to Westchester and Putnam counties, and other of our programs are throughout the whole state. So let me see. Roberta, did you go yet? Roberta Skull?
Yes, I did.
Yep.
And
Carolyn didn't go yet.
Okay, Carolyn, I saw your name.
I did get.
You were waving. Does that mean you're up for it, or you're waving to
Yes,
Roberta?
yes.
Okay.
That means I'm
Carolyn.
hoping not to be the very last. Thank you so much. I am basically also from Nassau Suffolk Law Services, and I am Risa Brofman's counterpart. So she's so wonderfully explained everything that we do, the MATs, bankruptcies, name change, some wills, some guardianships, that I'm not going to bore everybody. And instead, I'm just going to pick Jessica. Have you gone already?
I have not. Hello, everyone. Jessica Malone, Law New York. I'm the paralegal pro bono coordinator. I've worked with many of you coordinating placements for scholars, internships, coordinating other projects. I work with clients, attorneys, law students, undergrads. So we kind of do it all as well. I'm happy to be here to once again collaborate with everyone. And I will tap Samantha London.
Hi, my name is Samantha London. I'm a legal assistant with the pro bono team at Law New York, and I work with Kelly and Jessica.
Okay, how about Dorian? Have you gone yet?
Have not. Hi, everyone. I'm Dorian Rojas. I'm the the director of the immigration project at Volunteers of Legal Service. So Pete's my supervisor.
Colleague, as Sydney said
Colleague,
before.
supervisor.
Eunice, I don't think you've gone, right?
I don't think I have. I'm Eunice Benke. I'm with the New York State Bar Association, and I'm the public interest program manager. And I'm going to pass it along to Karen. I don't think you've gone.
No, I haven't. Hi, everyone. I apologize for arriving a few minutes late. My name is Karen Anderson Ponzer, and I'm the Director of Legal Services at Neighbors Link. And I'm new-ish to the committee, and I'm this is an amazing group of people doing amazing work. So I'm so pleased to be here.
Could you just tell us what Neighbors Link is and where it is?
Absolutely. Neighbors Link is a community-based organization headquartered in Westchester County. And our mission is to strengthen the entire community by empowering and educating immigrants. I run the Immigration Legal Services program, and we provide immigration legal services to immigrant New Yorkers in Westchester and then throughout the lower Hudson Valley. So I can talk more about the work we've been doing recently in the update section, but it's great to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Karen. I think, is that everybody, Pete? Or is anyone who hasn't
Please raise your hand if we missed you.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Go ahead,
So
Kelly.
sounds like we can move to our first speaker of the day, who is pinch hitting because Grishel is actually out sick today. So we really appreciate Ralph Wolf being able to step in and sort of assist with this, being the director of the Attorney Emeritus program. Take it away, Ralph.
Okay, thank you. And 10 minutes is good? Okay, thanks. Setting a timer.
Take a little more if you need it. Don't feel constrained.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ralph Wolf, as I mentioned. I'm the director of the New York State Attorney Emeritus program. And I came on board here in this role about a year ago. This is now all I see is myself. Let me change this view. That's unpleasant. There we go. As I mentioned, I work in the Office for Justice Initiatives for the New York State Unified Court System, and my role, I've always been involved in service, working for the court. And I do see this as service, and I'm very grateful to be part of this group where I can see an impact on communities, not directly, but through the work that you all do. And I'm thank you to the host organizations and to even to the in-house pro bono coordinator at Shearman Sterling for all the work that you do. So the Attorney Emeritus program is a link between attorneys who are 55 years and older with 10 years of legal experience in good standing to host organizations. So my role here right now is to recruit host organizations that aren't already AEP host organizations. So if you're at all interested, I know that there's at least one on this call that could be relevant. I'm going to share my screen quickly. Here we go, to show you our new website. Because this new website, can you see this website here, Attorney Emeritus Program? Yeah. We launched this recently. Many host organizations down here have already loaded their information. This is a place where you can create opportunities for volunteers. If you're disappointed in the outcomes so far, I'm not surprised because we are just about to load in the volunteers. We've been building capacity for the host organizations and getting you up to speed in the system. And we have a very small group of volunteers sort of that have been piloting it. So we're about to go really live, and hopefully you'll be able to get placed volunteers directly through here. We're staffed by AmeriCorps Vista coordinators who rotate every year. And right now that's Grachelle, Jean-Pierre in Rochester, and Spencer Yang and Princess Dang. Sorry. Anyway, excuse me. They're housed at the Feerick Center, and Grachelle is housed at Law New York. You don't need to be a retired attorney to be an attorney emeritus. Next time, if any of you are lawyers, next time you go to do your biannual registration on the court website, there's a new option right there. You've always been able to click attorney emeritus on there, but it's taken a few months to get that information to us. Now there's a much more direct way to do it right on the website. So that's exciting. We're hoping to expand our numbers through that. A few upcoming items that I want to alert you to. One is that I'm going to be in Rochester for a court function in 2 weeks, and Wednesday evening, the 27th. If you're a Rochester-based organization or passing through Rochester or want to travel from Buffalo, please come on by. We're having a little meet and greet from 5 to 6:30. So mostly you can meet Grachelle, who does the placement of the volunteers with your organization, and I will be there, and Kelly will be there as well. On December 4th, we're having a hybrid meeting, gathering of host organizations. Very excited about this. It's the first one to take place. I think there was one remote meeting in 2020. This meeting will be at Beaver Street. If you're local at all, please come. If you're in Westchester, hopefully you'll be able to come. I think there will be a lot of benefits to gathering together. And besides some housekeeping issues, the racial justice model practices is going to that'll be the breakout session, and we will get down to business to see how we can help with the technical assistance around that with your organization. I'm always available. The Vistas are always available. I see my job as helping you and your organizations to be able to take advantage of our volunteers. So if there's anything that we can do to help your organization, let me know. Usually what that would mean is I would connect you to somebody that knows more than I do. But I'm a bit of a hub in that area, and hopefully can help, not to take away from what the Pro Bono network does in any way. I'm hoping to share some best practices from New York State with our national colleagues. This is a two-way street. As Kelly mentioned, I was asked to do this just shortly before the meeting. So if I'm all over the place, I'm okay with that. I hope you are as well. If you know any volunteers who might qualify for our program, send them our way. In the 2022-2023 cycle, we served the Attorney Emeritus Program volunteers served 2,212 clients, and 1,964 of those received positive outcomes, and the service hour value was $2 million. we can only do that because you are the host organizations and we're linking volunteers to you. I've been having conversations with some of the law firm pro bono coordinators, which is usually at a much, some of the larger law firms. Hi, Sarah, I hope we can talk at some point about how the large law firms can help support the AEP. And we're having some movement in that area. Does anybody have any questions for me? Again, I'm available. I'll put my email in the chat. I'll put the AEP Vista coordinator's email in the chat as well. But if anyone has a question in my last 2 minutes, I'll take that, or we can move on.
This is Risa. I'm wondering, do you get requests, like what are the main interests that some of the AEPs have that you may not be able to fill? Curious about that.
When you say not be able to fill, you mean we don't have a place to put them?
Yes, like I wonder if they have any interest that you can't find space for, or what is the more common things that people are looking for?
Oh, people are looking, we were getting, people were for a period they're interested in domestic violence, immigration, family law, the bigger issue for us is there are some housing needs in host organizations, and we have, they generally want people with experience and who have time, and we have some trouble filling that need. But we don't have much of the issue that you're talking about. We find placements for people. Sometimes we get people who come to us and they want to do trainings. They want to do sort of higher level work within a host organization, and we encourage them to get involved in a host organization and build relationships there. And if the host organization, if there's space for that, move on, they can move up, but we don't generally place people at that level. We want people who are going to do the work. Michael, I see your hand.
Yeah, it's Michaela.
Michaela, sorry.
No problem. Just wondering if you have any law students working with your AEPs. I had always thought that would be a great model, to support the attorney emeritus with research projects or whatever. I certainly have students if that's something you want to think about in the future.
Interesting. Not that I'm aware of. I know that some attorneys emeritus are with organizations and they do end up helping to supervise. So they might supervise other volunteers if they have expertise in that area, or provide strategy. Our goal is that our volunteers become embedded in your organization. We have volunteers. I've been on the phone or on meetings with some of you this week. There's a volunteer who does almost 600 hours in a year with one organization that just came up yesterday. I think that was a call with Natalie, but I'm not sure. And the reason I was on the call with many of you, this week, is that our recognition, we give certificates of 60 hours of service in a 2-year period, and we were requesting that recognition. It was due yesterday. We have to get it to the Bar Association today. So we do ask some of you. We ask for information from you. We have reporting needs, and hopefully the website will help make that less onerous, and hopefully we give you more than we ask. That's the hope. Thanks.
Does anybody else have other questions?
Can I ask a quick question, actually? Does the Ferric Center or the location in Rochester, does the program offer like physical space for AEP attorneys? Let's say they need to I don't know, print things or they want to meet with a client. And I mean, obviously host organizations, I'm sure there's plenty that may offer space or the opportunity for AEP attorneys to come in. But I think since many may still be working remotely in a way, or there's hybrid schedules, I just wanted to know what the program may offer, in terms of physical space and resources, such as, to use a computer or printing that AEP attorneys may not have the ability to do in their homes.
Yeah, thanks, Cassandra. At this time, I think the answer is no, we don't provide. Kelly, I'm gonna let you take this. It looks like you have a different answer.
Well, I was just gonna say, I can only speak for Law New York, but I would say that we can provide spaces needed for folks to come in, because a lot of times they don't have a home office or something. We also are pretty familiar with AEP volunteers who might, not had to work with computers in a while. So we've been able to accommodate that by, a lot of times law students draft like divorces or wills, and then we mail them out to the person, and they like do physical edits and then mail them back to us. And it's really, and a lot of times it's a lot of fun conversations that they have with the law students as a way to kind of connect, with the next generation. But yeah, I mean, as far as physical space, not all of our staff are coming into the office every day, so there is definitely a space that the folks can use, at least at our organization, but I won't speak for everyone else.
Yeah, I think at organizations, for sure, at the host organizations, and I think, Kelly, you sort of wear two hats with the Vista housed at Law New York and the work that you do to support the AEP. The Ferric Center has no room when school's in session, and there's no office, administrative support in that way. The kind of assistance that we give to the volunteers is we can help with training. We have drop-in sessions to link them to the host organizations, as many of you know, because you participate at those. We have one next week for new volunteers. And we have drop-in sessions for experienced volunteers so that they can network with each other. COVID was a big hit on more senior attorneys. If somebody retired before COVID or during COVID thinking that they were going to go volunteer someplace and they weren't able to do that, there's some health benefits to volunteering, and we try to keep those fresh in people's minds. I hope that answered your question. And I think it's a great opportunity for big law firms to help out, maybe by providing, maybe, helping to with administrative assistance. I don't know if that's possible, but maybe I can ask them about that. Shara Abraham.
Hi, good morning. So short of distributing an address list for your volunteers, your AEP volunteers, our coverage area, much of our coverage area is rural. And one of our issues is finding volunteers who are willing to go to court, are not scared of litigation, and two, volunteers where there is an in-person need, who live anywhere near our clients. So I'm wondering, what is the best mechanism? And I'm sorry, I should say that in recent weeks, I have connected with a couple of retired attorneys through the program who, like, even at this stage in their career, they want to now explore litigation. So what would be the best avenue for finding attorneys in our coverage area and who have an interest in litigation, or just in person
court
appearances, even if it's just small claims court?
Yeah, a couple of ways. One is we invite host organizations to participate at our quarterly new volunteer drop-in sessions. We have a newsletter that comes out every 2 weeks. If you're not receiving it, again, I'll put my email and the Vista's emails in the chat. Please let us know. We post volunteer opportunities in the newsletters. The new website is a place where you can build it out however you want. And when the volunteers are loaded in right now, the volunteers who are loaded in are active volunteers. But the new crop, there's thousands, will, if they express an interest in litigation or rural, you'll be able to filter. And I should say, in addition to racial justice model practices, rural, helping to fill the rural justice gap is a focus of ours. So reach out to Grachelle for sure. Her email address is the one that's going to be at Law New York, and she focuses on rural. That said, I heard a few people mention upstate, downstate earlier in this call. The new court administration is less keen on that distinction, and wants to make our court system more uniform. And to that end, filling that rural justice gap has a lot to do with funneling resources from more urban areas to more rural areas. So you mentioned in person, the remote is easier to fill because there aren't that many attorneys in the rural areas, although maybe people retired up, locally. Thanks.
Any other questions? Thanks so much, Ralph. Really appreciate you stepping in at the last minute and the important information about the AEP program. Next up on our agenda is Dorian Rojas, who is the Immigration Project Director with my organization, Volunteers of Legal Service. Dorian will tell you more about our immigration practice, but the reason we invited Dorian is because recently the federal government promulgated some new rules with respect to limited scope representation in immigration matters. And these rules open up some new opportunities to take advantage of volunteer attorneys and pro bono in this space. I'm sure everybody who is even adjacent to immigration law knows how long these cases take. And when pro bonos take on these cases, they're sometimes making a multi-year commitment to a matter or a client, and that could be a barrier to getting pro bono engaged with immigration work, because folks may be reluctant to take on something that they don't know when it's going to end. And so we really view this new limited scope representation rules as an opportunity to be able to engage pro bono with immigration work in a different way. So Dorian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pete. I am going to share my screen very quickly. Okay. This always happens when I share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So I would like to, well, I'll do it this way. You guys can see my screen. I'm trying to make it full screen, but the bar at the top of the Zoom is not allowing me to. Okay, so I think you all know about VOL. So we support pro bono, and we have about 6 different projects, and we work with children, with immigrant youth, imprisoned mothers, small business owners, and elders. And one thing that we're always looking for at VOLS, as Pete mentioned, is how to make, engaging pro bono opportunities and also timely ones. So I will say that this new rule, which it was effective November 14, 2022, really allowed us to open the doors to the possibilities for pro bonos in the immigration realm. So as Pete mentioned, a lot of the feedback and questions that I get, when I put up a pro bono opportunity, the first question that I get is, how long is this going to take? And I think that pro bono volunteers ask this of every project, but especially for my project, they really want me to give them an estimate of how long they're going to be working on a matter. So what this new rule has done, which permits, practitioners to provide either document assistance or just enter a limited appearance for different immigration matters that are before immigration court or the Board of Immigration Appeals. What this has done for me is that it has allowed me to thoughtfully think of the cases that we put forth on a pro bono opportunity and how I can kind of split them up so that people still have participation and can say they worked on a case, but do not have that pressure that they have to be on a case for 6 months or a year, 2 years or 3 years, right? The reason I mentioned that this was also timely is because this rule came into effect right around the same time of the recent migrant influx into the city. And I was getting a lot of pro bono volunteers asking me the question, how can we help, right? We want to work and we want to take on specifically asylum cases, but they take too long. So this was the perfect opportunity to think about how we present opportunities to work on asylum cases to our volunteers in a way that it's, meaningful, engaging, and they feel like they made a difference, but they're not, for lack of a better word, stuck on a case for 3 years. So there are two forms. There's the form ER 60 and ER 61. I am going to focus on form EOIR 61 because the ER 60 is if people are going to represent or entering a limited rep on Board of Immigration Appeals cases, and we do less of that, although we will talk more about how that is also an excellent opportunity for a more a shorter and more defined kind of like pro bono project. But the ER 61 is a very simple form. It's only 2 pages. The top is filled out very similar to what an ER 28 would look like. The ER 28 is when you put in a full rep appearance. This is a limited rep, but the top, they're asking for the client's information. The A number, which is in immigration, is similar to a social security number. Everyone who has had contact with immigration gets an A number. And then you right here, you enter your limited appearance and for what. So it could be for an application, a brief, a motion, and they say other documents. So the other document is a box that's very interesting, and I think really opens kind of like our universe of what pro bono can work on. So an application, anyone who has, let's say if someone is applying for asylum, an attorney can enter their experience just to submit and explain to the court that I have helped this person fill out the application. Same thing with a brief. Motion is mostly used if a pro bono says, you know what, I do have a little bit more time and I want to represent the client in the removal of offense and do motion practice. They may do one motion, which is just a change of venue and then get off the case. Or they may say, I want to stay on the removal of offense. Rare, but it has happened. Other document is where we can engage pro bono for things like declaration preparation, country condition research, which I think is also very meaningful and helpful to someone who is applying, especially someone who's applying for asylum, and gives pro bono the opportunity to really understand all the details of a case, the elements, how to prove and try the case without actually trying it. The other part of the form is when you're kind of like identifying who you are. So most of our pro bonos who are attorneys are going to click the first box. They're going to and explain where they have been admitted. The other boxes I have also used in a pro bono capacity for people at firms who are not attorneys, who are under the supervision of an attorney. And this, if you look at the fourth box, there's one that says, I am a reputable individual as defined by 8 CFR. So those who are not attorneys, paralegals, but are working under the supervision of attorney can also work on pro bono matters for the firm and click this box. What's interesting about that box is that if you have heard about the asylum centers that the mayor's office has put up around the city, they have trained, they have pro bono that are volunteering, and the pro bono that are volunteering usually click the first box or have a supervising attorney submit this for them, because if you are a law student or a lawyer, you have to identify that and have a lawyer submit this. However, they have hired lots of people who are not in law school, who are not lawyers, who they've trained up to kind of work on asylum applications. What I've noticed is that all of those people are submitting this form and applications are being accepted by immigration court under this fourth box, which is I am a reputable individual box. Just pointing that out because it does open the universe on, different types of pro bono programs. Specifically, I would say in that sense, there are sometimes we partner with law firms who bring a corporate client, and the people that they want to provide the pro bono opportunity for are not attorneys. So that opens that up. This is the bottom of the page. You write your contact information. The EOIR ID number are for immigration practitioners. So if someone fills this out and puts a number there, it's because they are immigration attorney. Most of our volunteers sign that and do not fill out that part. And then the last part of the form, as I mentioned, is only 2 pages, the proof of service. So if you are submitting a limited appearance, in addition, you would work on the application, but they also need to serve the opposing party, which is usually ICE. So at Vols, how are we making this kind of like work for us? So we have started to look at the universe of immigration cases and said, how can we split them up, co-counsel with pro bono so that they still get the experience of working on these cases, but do not have to stay on the cases for too long. So with the EOIR 61, which is for the immigration court, we're doing this with all types of cases. So for asylum, special immigrant juvenile status, family-based petitions, violence against women's Protection Act, U visa, which is usually for victims of crimes, T visa, who are for victims of trafficking, and in general removal of defense. We are looking at all of our cases, vetting them first, doing an intake and a screening, and seeing if there are any pieces of those cases that we can create a pro bono opportunity for our attorneys. Now, that being said, some of these cases are very complex. So not every case is a fit to put for pro bono opportunity. So definitely requires vetting. And what do I mean by that? So some of the asylum cases, if we are looking to serve recent arrivals, those are probably going to be okay to put and split up as a pro bono opportunity. You can create a clinic where they're just doing application preparation or just working on the declaration, or you can have them give them the elements of the case, have them have 1 or 2 client meetings and ask them to do country condition research. Those are cases that you can probably possibly split up. There are other cases where maybe a person has a deportation order, and there are other things that you need to do in immigration court before you can actually help them, on their application. Those cases are a little bit harder to place with pro bono. The ER 60 also very interesting, and I think a place where we are looking to develop to use a limited representation form, because this is for cases before the Board of Immigration Appeals. And I've recently been getting a lot of interest in this, because this is usually for an attorney to work on an appellate brief, or if they just want to take the argument portion, they can do that too. So what kind of cases do we see in this realm? Definitely asylum. If an asylum is denied and the family or person wants to appeal, many times you can you will appeal to the Board of Immigration Appeals, and the only requirement is to submit a brief. You can actually waive oral arguments and have them review on the papers, because no new evidence is allowed to be considered. So some pro bono attorneys want this kind of experience, pro bono experience. They're like, I feel a little nervous talking to clients or having client meetings, but research and writing is my thing, right? So if you tell me what happened in this case, I can definitely write a brief. This is the same for like denial of certain benefits. So you would see that denial of benefits or stripping of certain statuses. So let's say dreamers, I've seen dreamers in removal proceedings who maybe have had, a minor issue with the law, but now a judge has decided they no longer have DACA. They will also appeal that judge's decision. People who are legal permanent residents who also have situations and got their legal permanent residence stripped will also appeal. And all of these are briefs that pro bono can easily, work on. Some pro bono volunteers want, to argue in court, so they may choose to also do the argument portion. What's good about the limited representation form is that before, if you submitted an appearance, you would have to stay on the case and then submit a motion to the judge, the immigration judge, asking him to relieve you, right, to be able to get off the case. If you are submitting an ERR 60 or ERR 61 as opposed to an ERR 28, then you are signaling to the court, I am here for this brief service, and once I submit this, I'm no longer the attorney of record. So, and you do not have to do a motion to the court. So if they receive a ER 61 with an asylum application that Dorian filled out, and I put myself as the attorney on the application, once I've submitted that application, during the next hearing, the court's not going to expect me to appear. They're also not going to send me notices about the case, because they understand you entered this appearance simply just for document preparation. And that is the same if you do other forms of documentation. So we've gotten good, feedback on working on the limited appearances, and I think pro bono has also felt that they have, some ownership versus they work on a portion and then I have to sign off for them. It kind of feels good to them to have put their name on and say, like, I submitted this, I worked on this brief, or I worked on this application, and they can sign on as a preparer. We're working a lot with recent arrivals and asylum seekers, and we're working with them in one of three ways. We're either asking them to assist in the preparation of applications, asking them to assist in the declaration and country condition research, or appearing to represent the asylum seeker at the individual hearing only. So in immigration court, many of the initial hearings are very administrative. So they want to know a person's address. They want to know, the reason that they came into the United States. Those are all master calendar hearings. The individual hearing is the hearing where the person actually puts up their defense. So you would submit things, you're going back and forth with the judge, submitting things. At the master hearing, when you get an individual hearing, it's kind of like a mini trial. So the person is coming in to defend their case, to bring witnesses, to talk about evidence. Sometimes people will say, I want that experience. That is an experience of 3 to 4 hours besides the prep that I have to do in court. And I want to submit a limited appearance just to appear for the individual hearing. So yeah, that's kind of the universe. I see that there's some questions in the chat. I will try to open it. Oh, yeah. Yes, I will. So one of the questions is about the limited scope retainers and whether they can be kind of like topped up for divorces. We have not used a limited rep appearances in courts outside of immigration court. So
yeah, can I just jump in on that? There in the CPLR, there are I don't know the citation off the top of my head, but there is limited scope pro bono representation rules under the CPLR for New York state courts. And so in divorce proceedings, that could be something that could be used. I haven't personally used it in those kinds of cases, but it is an avenue that's available as well.
Awesome. And in general, I love brainstorming and talking about pro bono programs. So I just wanted to provide my email in case anybody wants to contact me and brainstorm and plan, collaborate together on any, pro bono engagements.
Thanks so much, Dorian. Does anybody have questions that they didn't put in the chat, or anybody who's used these rules in a pro bono context that could share their stories?
I have a question, Peter,
Sandra.
and thank you, Dorian, for this presentation. It's very helpful because we have an immigration practice as well. So, and I'm sorry if I missed this in the presentation, but does Vols keep the case after the pro bono does their limited scope portion of the case? And then if not, are there any concerns about like clients meeting too many different attorneys?
So it depends on the case. So most of the asylum cases we are keeping, and I think right now, the reason that we're doing that is because we understand that they will then, once a person submits an application, the case is going to be pending, right? In terms of concerns about, clients meeting too many attorneys, so we try to make sure that the client has as many resources as possible before they leave our pro bono, right? So, and actually our pro bonos really sometimes do this on their own, right? They say, hey, Dorian, I know that I am going to only submit my appearance for this application, but the family is asking me about what's going to happen during their next hearing, things like that. So we try to make sure that they are leaving with resources on how to kind of handle their case. The other thing is that unlike the mayor's asylum clinic where they just submit an asylum application, we try at Vols to submit as full as a application as possible so that a judge can make a determination on the case, even if the client returns and is not able to return with an attorney. So let's say our pro bono only works on the application portion, then the rest of our team will do the country conditions. We will work on the declaration. We want to make sure that this person has a full asylum packet so that if a judge is saying, I'm going to give you one more chance to return, and they still don't return with an attorney, the judge has enough to make a determination.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Karen?
Yes, I just wanted to add that just a couple of things that we've been utilizing the limited scope model ever since the rule went into effect, I think about almost a year ago now. So we've been using that, and I think and then also I was just going to say, I just wanted to let everyone here know, I'm not sure if it's still available, but last fall, the Committee on Immigration of NISBA did a presentation on this with folks from Northwest Immigrants' Rights Projects, just in the interest of information sharing. And then the Committee on Immigration is going to be doing a CLE next month on limited scope models, talking, Dorian, about exactly, the work that you're doing. Your presentation was really great. And I would just love to talk more offline with you about your model, because we are currently working, serving new arrivals in the Lower Hudson Valley. And I think this conversation raises really important questions about, about effective representation in a limited scope format for a large number of people, while making sure people are as trial ready as they can be, given the fact that there really looks like there may not be enough lawyers for everybody. Like, it's just a large number of people. So I just think there's really interesting work to be done to try and think big about how to solve that problem, and thinking about all the ethical issues of, if you do limited scope and then they go to somebody else and then somebody else, so all of those concerns, balancing against how do you assist a large volume of people when the demand is so great. So I'd love to talk more offline. And I just wanted to make sure folks here knew about what was happening in the Committee on Immigration, because there's some interesting interface. Thanks so much.
Karen. Yeah, I appreciate that. One last thing that I wanted to mention about engaging pro bono in a limited scope is that a lot of our pro bono also have been rock stars and showing up for us, just helping with like translation. So especially in the immigration world, most of the documents that we need and evidence that our clients have are in a different language. So if you're thinking about, hey, how to, engage pro bono, and maybe they don't want, to engage in any of these other ways, translation is also a great one in immigration. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for inviting me, P, and everyone.
Thanks so much, Dorian. And the limited scope appearance rule for New York State courts that I mentioned before is CPLR 321D, which I just put in the chat for folks to take a look at. So our next guest actually, unfortunately, canceled at the last minute, had a family emergency, which timing-wise, looking at the agenda, puts us right back on track to where we were supposed to be. Kelly, you want to take over now?
Sure. I mean, are we going to do our stretch break or no?
I mean, do folks want to take a break, or we want to power through and maybe end a little early?
If you want a stretch break, raise your hand. Okay, Kristen saying end early. All right, sorry, Maurice. I guess we're gonna power through. Okay, so I am hoping that Victoria can help with a lot of this and so we don't have to listen to me drone on. But as she had said before, we're both on a committee, subcommittee of COLA that's working on the public interest career fair for legal service providers. I think every organization is looking for new staff right now. So that's what sort of was the impetus to put this together. And it's going to be virtual. It's going to be on October 25th. It's going to be from 12 to 5. If your organization hasn't signed up, please sign up. I think Eunice has been a big part of this as well, and working with the New York State Bar. But I think what we need is if your organization to sign up, and then also to give us information about what positions are available in your organization. Thanks for putting that in the chat, Eunice. Thanks. And there is a like a save the date that went out. But I can get you some more information about that, Michaela. The reason why we haven't heavily promoted it yet is because the New York State Bar is having their private attorney firm career fair this month. So we wanted to make sure that they had that space, and then we'll go, sorry, Victoria, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna hop in, Kelly. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
But Eunice and I talked about this yesterday. The save the date for organizations also has a place for individual attendees to register. And
Oh, right,
here, we're looking, obviously we're working through the law school. I'm working with my colleagues here at Albany. I reached out to my alma mater, etc. But organizations are also looking for people who have some experience if they want to, if they want to change jobs, if it's the right time to transition, whatever. So we strongly encourage you to circulate this through your networks. Would that be a fair statement, Kelly and Eunice?
Yeah, I think that'll be good. Yes. I mean, I think it's a really great opportunity to showcase your organization. We're going to have basically virtual tabling where people can stop by and talk with you about the organization. You can give them information about how to apply for the positions that you have open. We're going to have some speakers at the beginning. We're going to have some panelists who work at legal services, giving some information about sort of their experiences and really highlighting the positives of working in legal services. And we just really want to make this a great first time event to really bring in interested graduates and experienced attorneys who are changing positions, as Victoria said, and also to sort of highlight the work that's being done. So we're also collecting from registrants any promotional materials like videos or social media posts that you have about your organization and the work that you do. So it's sort of a twofold. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
And also to piggyback off that, if I may, Kelly, NYSBA is working with some of the attendees and the panelists to create like little promotional videos. I think that the theme we're sort of thinking of is I am civil legal services. So those should be trickling out once we're able to do more promotion, as Kelly said, once the big one is the first one, sorry, not the big one. This is the big one. Once the first career fair is over for NYSBA and we can really pull out all the stops for promotion.
Yeah, and so is there, what's the question? Oh, it's free. Is there a link to register for non-members? Does it require a member login? That's a Eunice question.
That is a Eunice question. There usually is a member login or just a login. We have a lot of people who take programs from NYSBA that are not members. So I don't think you have to be a member to have a login, but usually there is some kind of login. If you, oh, it's Jean. If you want, you can either send me an email and I can forward it to our member resources department and they can help you register, or you can try going to the link and see if you have something from the past that, a password or something that just needs to be reset. I did want to add too that it is free. It's free for the organizations and free for the attendees. And the normal career fair that NYSBA does, they charge the firms to participate. Obviously, the attendees are free. But we have the Legal Services Coalition was nice enough to sponsor the whole platform, because the platform that we are utilizing for this career fair is not Zoom. It's a different platform. It's called Remo, and it's similar to Zoom, but it doesn't seem to be as intuitive as Zoom is, and a little more complicated. So with that being said, it was a little more expensive than just having Zoom. So LSC was very, very kind to sponsor the whole program. And it is October 25th from 12 to 5.
And Eunice, I'm seeing a couple questions in the chat about a couple follow-ups about registration questions. I will say that I had some contact yesterday with the career services guy at my law school who clicked through and he said it looked like students could set up a free account through
Probably,
the
yes.
link.
All law students are free at NYSBA. They have a free account.
Right, they would have to set up an account with NYSBA, but they would want to do that anyway because of all the great benefits that NYSBA has for people just out of law school, or in law school still. Yeah, and I think the other thing is, there's going to be positions that are going to have different levels of expertise and different levels of experience required. So, you know, we are casting a pretty wide net, right, for folks who are looking for employment positions right now. That was sort of the key. So, we have, what did you say? You just like 20 organizations have already signed up. Is that right?
We have 21 now, yes.
21. Okay. So, you know, if you haven't signed up, you're not, you know, not going to be cool. So you should sign up your organization, especially if you have any open positions. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really great. I think it'll be a really good way to highlight civil legal services, and we're hoping for as much participation as we can to try to get some of these positions filled, and make sure that our clients can have the services that they need. So yeah. So anything else, Victoria, Eunice, that we should let them know?
I think those are the highlights, but if please feel free to get in touch if you have follow-up questions. I guess I'll just say that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, just send me an email and I'll respond to it.
And, you know, maybe we'll make this a every year thing if it works out okay.
Every
right?
other year we have partnership. We call it as partnership
right,
too.
right,
So
right,
we-
right, right.
Yeah, this is a non-partnership year. It's the career.
That's I forgot about, yeah, that's a really good point. Yes. Yes. But if your organization needs more people, let's do it. So thank you, Eunice, for all your support for this as well. That was all I had on that, Pete. Unless anybody has any other questions. In case we can move to updates from our organizations if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody interested in giving an organizational update about some pro bono work they're engaged in?
Or something cool that you're doing, or, you know, something that just launched, or something that you need feedback on too. Anything that you want to chat about or highlight your organization. Michaela, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to highlight that we have our tenants advocacy practicum and tenants legal hotline at the law school. We have a full-time supervising attorney working on tenants cases, and we have posted an opening. So, you know, I know you're all hiring as well, a lot of you, but if you know anyone who would be interested in, you know, a 2-year position at the law school doing tenants work, I'm going to put that in the chat. And then I also just wanted to highlight a great new pro bono program, a partnership that we're doing with Law New York. It's about reentry and helping formerly incarcerated people review their records. We had an outstanding turnout of 121 students who were interested in participating in this program. We're trying to figure out how we can include all these students, but it will be teams of undergrads and law students working on these cases. An attorney from Law New York, Jason Hogue, just did the training last week, and we're going to be doing an all-day clinic in October. And then we are partnering also with a law firm, Cooley, to supervise the students in partnership with the Law New York attorneys to take on a boatload of cases. So it's exciting to have this model outside of the curriculum that's really focused on pro bono. So props to Law New York for putting that all together. Thanks.
And props to you for getting the most people we've ever contact us at one time. So thank you very much. Okay. Oh, go ahead, Lauren. Sorry, Lauren. Sorry.
Lauren, like Karen.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to remind folks of, it's not new, but Lawyers Alliance, and I just put a link in the chat, has a resource call hotline where we provide legal information to nonprofits about nonprofit law, business law, transactional work surrounding nonprofits. So if you don't have to be a Lawyers Alliance client, but feel free to reach out by phone or by email.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great opportunity there. And your information is in the chat as well, so that's awesome. It looks like Michaela added some more information in the chat too about a tenants advocacy attorney. I'm sorry, practicum. Yep. Natalie, do you want to go next?
Yeah, thanks. So it's actually not one of my programs at the Pace Women's Justice Center, but I'm doing a shout out because at the law school, Pate Law School, we opened just a few months ago a new chapter, I guess you'd call it, of Legal Hand. where our law students are, staffing the phones and helping people. So I just wanted to put that out as a good resource for people in case they wanted to contact them.
Can you just say a little bit more about what Legal Hand is for folks who may be new to the biz?
Yeah, so Legal Hand is they're operating as a call center for people who may need some legal assistance. And the people that are staffing that are not lawyers, but they're trained in legal information. So my understanding is the majority of kind of questions that they're getting right now are based in housing, landlord tenant type issues. So these are people who are trained to listen to what the issues are, kind of walk people through the process and help them understand what their rights are, and then also provide referrals.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Could you just put the contact information in the chat? That's from Karen. Okay. Maurice, go ahead.
Just similar to Lawyers Alliance, Pro Bono Partnership also has a resource call hotline. So if you're outside of the LANI or Lawyers Alliance service area, we offer the same service that Terrific Lawyers Alliance does. We'll answer anyone's questions, give general advice, even if they're not a Pro Bono Partnership client, for lawyers and for nonprofits. And I can put our information in the chat as well.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, if anyone has wants to put their contact information in the chat, even if you're not gonna give an update, feel free to do that. Or any notes of things you're looking for particularly. Thanks, Maurice. Other folks who might have updates. Okay, go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, thanks. So in addition to the year-round volunteer opportunities that we have, we're really excited that coming up in October, we have a few things that we're doing with the Bar Association and also some of them with the Safe Center. So one is on October 6th, we're offering a public seminar around Domestic Violence Awareness Month and also for Pro Bono Month. And that's really going to focus on domestic violence, but financial abuse. So we have our consumer debt attorney from Nassau Suffolk Law Services that will speak on the panel, but then we also engage some of our volunteer attorneys from the Volunteer Lawyers Project that do bankruptcy. Nassau County Bar Association has some of their foreclosure attorneys that are going to present as well. And then what we're going to do is have a clinic and legal consultations from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock that day. We're going to make sure to have Spanish interpreters there, have the program in Spanish as well. But we thought that this will give some of the attorneys that want to kind of do a one-shot consultation with someone and don't have that longer case, that they may not have the time for. The other thing is that on October 16th, and Tom may have mentioned this at the beginning, but there is going to be a CLE program with Dean's Hour that's going to focus on the history of pro bono and really starring Tom Maligno leading us off, but partnering with judges, partnering with other people in the community that Tom reached out to. And that will be an opportunity for attorneys to get CLE credit, but also come and learn this history that I think is really near and dear to us and vital to the programs that expanded, how the programs expanded to what they are today. And the last thing is something that we're really proud of as well. On October 26th, we're hosting our annual open house legal clinic. And last year was the first one we did since the pandemic, where we did it in person. And we had over 100 clients. We had 40 to 50 attorneys participate. So we're actually expanding, and we're going to have 3 different shifts. People can sign up for 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and 6 to 8. And we're hoping to get, we had a shortage of elder law attorneys last year. There was a real need for that. So we're trying to put out the ask now and make sure that we have enough people to respond to the needs of the community.
That all sounds amazing. Everyone wants links in the chat to all the different things you were talking about and all the events. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sarah Lynn, you unmuted. Did you have an update?
Oh, no, sorry. I just put in the chat that follow up that we have lawyers who are bilingual and are happy to do written translation or oral interpretation. And I just gave my email in case anyone wants to send materials to us. We do a lot of know your rights materials. We work with prisoners' legal services a lot to answer letters. So it's a small thing, but we're happy to do it.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. I think Karen was next. Did you want to go?
Yes, I hope I was. If I'm jumping the line, somebody please tell me. I just wanted to let everyone know that Neighbors Link is we're also doing the limited scope work for asylum seekers that Dorian she did the great presentation about, and we are always interested. We're definitely looking for volunteers to assist in limited scope asylum filings, particularly in Dutchess and Orange counties. And anybody who's interested in volunteering, you can spread the word along. I know everybody here is already doing plenty of work, so I just wanted to make this informal announcement, and then I'll be following up with various folks offline. But I did just want to let you know. And we do a lot of work with volunteers. And so anybody who's interested just goes to the Neighbors Link website and clicks volunteer.
Great, and you already put that website in the chat? If not, can you?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do that now. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Oh, Sale, do you have an update?
Hi, everybody. Sorry I was a little late in joining. It's so nice to see so many friendly faces and names who I haven't seen in a while. And I do want to say, Kelly, thank you so much for putting together another amazing program. You're doing such a great job with leading Pro Bono Coordinators Network.
It's not just me, it's Pete now too.
I know. And Pete, thank you so much. You guys are great. It's awesome. That's so good to see it going strong. My update was just, I wanted to make sure everybody's aware that we now have a Buffalo straight across the thruway all the way to Albany upstate pro bono immigration project that has, I know it's really exciting in Victoria. Buffalo, of course, is VLP and Erie County Bar Association. Rochester is Just Cause. Syracuse is Volunteer Lawyers Project. Well, Syracuse, North Country, Mohawk Valley. And then Capital Region and surrounding areas is the Legal Project. And it's funded by ONA. And we have been doing, making it so that our trainings for volunteer attorneys are virtual so that volunteers anywhere across the state can join. And so I just want to let people know, because while there's a little bit of limited scope going on, it's mainly full rep. We've been cranking our way through like the Afghan arrival cases, and it's just really exciting. I feel like this dream is coming to fruition in terms of immigration. So if anybody has any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me, or if you're in one of those areas, reach out to one of those programs as well. But it's a joint partnership.
Awesome, thanks. If there's any sort of link, I don't know if there is one, to the project announcement or anything, feel free to put that in the chat.
We should do a project announcement. That's a really good point. It's
oh no, sorry.
It's always so crazy when ONA increased its funding and then decided we all had to report twice a week. We've been
that's
crazy town time, but we will do an announcement. It's a great idea. But I guess what I'd say is, I know some of your programs have a lot of restrictions around immigrants that you can serve. And so if you do come across pro bono attorneys that are wanting to do immigration upstate, please send them along. We redirect them to whichever organization is the right location for them. So
awesome. Thank you. Teresa.
Hello, good morning. I'm going to provide updates for Law New York so Kelly can jump in if I miss anything. All these other projects sound amazing, and I love hearing about them. You heard a little bit about our reentry project with Cornell from Michaela, so we're working right now on registering clients. We've distributed some flyers at a career fair reentry event yesterday, so we're hoping to get some more walk-in clients for that. And the number of volunteers is overwhelming, so that's awesome. We have been running really for the past year. We started about last fall. I think, or maybe even before that, doing our uncontested divorce virtual clinics with DLA paper downstate. And that has been a really great process for serving. We've done like 10 to 18 clients per clinic. We're able to e-file. It's been really a really great process. We are currently planning to do an in-person clinic for Spanish speaking clients in Jamestown. But that is always a need for us. I know that someone had mentioned that about like translation, so I'm sure we'll be in touch. But student volunteers, anybody that speaks another language is so helpful for translating our paperwork, drafting documents, contacting clients via email. We use our online volunteer portal for registration. That's also been great for streamlining referrals. What else have we got? I feel like that's a lot of stuff. I don't know. Did I cover everything?
I think you got it all.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so if anyone is interested, students can be directed to our online portal for registration. We'll be at the Equal Justice Works Career Fair, meeting with students virtually. And I think we have a lot of, we'll be, any upcoming in-person law school fairs, we have a couple on our calendar as well. So make sure you send those our way so we can show up and talk to your students. Thanks.
Thanks, Teresa.
Can I ask
Maria?
a quick question, Kelly? Sorry, I couldn't find the hand
That's
icon.
fine. That's fine.
Sorry for Teresa. Just wondering, this is Andrea Putnam from Legal Services in Northern Westchester. I'm sorry, of Hudson Valley. It's been a long day already. Very quick question, which is, are you using in your virtual uncontested program, are you using the newer court uncontested module, the one that's got like a bit of animation?
We are not, no.
Okay. I'll catch you offline. I would love to hear more about your program because that's something on my list as well. And as far as Legal Services, the Hudson Valley Share had to pop off, but I don't really have an update from my end. It's more Shara and my coworker Eileen Hartspan, who are running a great virtual housing advice clinic with several different law firms from the city, Fried Frank being one of them, and they've done a ton with it, and we're actually just recognized at our gala earlier this week. So unfortunately, I'm not that well versed in the housing advice clinic, but it's been a great success virtually if anyone wants to reach out to us.
Great. Thanks, Andrea. Maurice, do you have something else? Or
I do.
Yeah.
Just two other things. One is, while we are based in Westchester County and serve nonprofits primarily in the lower Hudson Valley, we will consider helping nonprofits throughout the state. So if you're outside of the lower Hudson Valley of New York and have a nonprofit that could use services, please feel free to refer them to us and we'll see if we can help. The other thing is, we have many web articles and virtual webinars that we give. One of them is on the upsides, downsides, and alternatives to forming a nonprofit. If you have folks you run into folks considering forming a nonprofit, we get many, many, many of those requests. We won't help a lot of them. We won't help groups form a nonprofit unless we really think they have a business plan and really know what they're doing. So we regularly give a webinar on upsides, downsides, and alternatives to forming one. And it's as a free on-demand webinar on our website at probonopartner.org. So please feel free to refer folks to that who are thinking of starting one.
Thanks, Maurice. Teresa, you had something?
No, I think I forgot to take my hand down.
Okay.
Lower hand there. Great. Thanks.
Anyone else? Well, let me put a quick plug in. Oh, Natalie, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So this is kind of, I don't know if it's really on topic or off topic, but just a question to the group if people can contact me offline. Does anybody have any we've confronted a situation where most of our volunteers are either retired or stay-at-home parents, so they don't have like their own private law practice. that they're dealing with, and just kind of curious as to how people deal with conflicts. So if anybody has any suggestions, please contact me. I'll put my email in the chat. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Just a quick question. I had heard that a lot of people do some bankruptcy work and stuff like that. Are people finding that there are programs out there that you can use for free for the volunteers to prepare the bankruptcy petition? And if so, would you be willing to share those?
Our volunteers don't use that program, but I'd like to know about that program. So
I'm just wondering if there is anything out there. I know that we're running into a lot of our volunteers have retired or are no longer actively doing bankruptcies, but still have all of the necessary knowledge to do it. So looking for a good bankruptcy program that we could use in-house that they could have access to, essentially.
That would be awesome for me as well. So Kristen, I'll connect with you to see what you've been looking for. Maybe we can start looking together.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Carolyn, did I see you unmute yourself? Or...
Yeah, I was just going to respond that, we can't really assign cases to folks who don't have that bankruptcy software. So, I never heard of anyone getting access to that software for free. So I hope if you do find a way, you'll let us know.
I've been working on it for about 5 years now. So trying to come up with a solution for some of our solos that have the knowledge, but not the software because they're the software got too costly or they're not doing as many bankruptcies. So.
Great. Anyone else? Feel free to unmute yourself. All right. Well, it looks like we're going to give folks about 24 minutes back of their time on a Friday, which is nice. Thanks everybody for coming out and for the great discussion. And if you have ideas for speakers or issues to discuss in upcoming meetings, feel free to reach out to me and Kelly. We welcome the ideas and the feedback.
Definitely. And, this is a great community. And I think, I just am always so inspired by the folks that are part of this group. So thank you so much. Eunice, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm not sure, but I don't know when the next Pro Bono Coordinators Network meeting is going to be scheduled for, but I do know that we will be scheduling the joint meeting of all of the, Committee on Legal Aid and the President's Committee on Access to Justice, which also includes the Pro Bono Coordinators Network meeting during annual meeting, which this year the dates are January 16th through the 20th. And ours will be on that Thursday, which would be the 19th, I believe. So just to save the date for that date.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like January is going to come faster than we're ready for. So yes, it's good to think about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a good day.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.
Thanks.